So they were asking, the superintendent's going to be there? And I said, well, he's one, but the board members are above the superintendent. Oh, so I'm going to call them in now. Yes. And we'll go from here. Thank you.
What's your name? It's a pleasure. I'm Brad.
Hi, sir. Very nice to have you.
Hi. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, sir. Mr. T, thank you for being here.
What's your first name? What nice to meet you.
Thank you, Parker. Thanks for coming, buddy.
He's the head. So let's go back.
He's the only one that shook my hand.
Yes.
I hope I hope that you saw eye contact and smile. What happens with a lot of spontaneous teams, they're walking into a strange room and they're meeting adults they don't know. And they go to their tables and they're like shaking in their boots. So what we decided from the very beginning is they were going to approach the judges, look them in the eye, smile, thank them, and get off to a good start. Guys, I'm just walking around here, so I'm not in your way, and then I will give you your question. You will have 1 minute to think. You're gonna have 3 minutes to answer. You may not talk to each other. You speak loudly. Don't repeat any answers. All the typical stuff. 1 point for normal answers, 5 points for creative answers. You may ask questions, but it will count toward your time. Your problem is this. I asked you all to get here at 6:45, which you all did. But let's say you didn't, and you just walked in at 5 minutes after 7. Why were you late to the school board meeting? 1 minute to think starts now. You can go in any order. I forgot that.
That's some Jeopardy music that we could play.
I drove all the way here just to realize I forgot my thing. I was late because I got in an argument with Darth Vader and it turned nasty. I was late because home was hard and we didn't pick up the time. I was late because the car had some malfunction. I was late because this company called and they needed to show me their new cutting edge technology. I was late because my pet gorilla got out of its cage and went bananas. I was late because the unicorn gave me a cupcake and I needed to finish it. I was late because my 2 dogs went to the pet store, wasted all my parents' money and got like 1,000 pets. I was late because I had to figure out the way to cover up the bill because my dog got a plane ride to China. I was late because I was in the forest and I forgot that I had to leave. I was late because my sister kept having to practice her handstand. I was late because my dogs were looking for me for the river life. They went to China with Ari. Forgot where my clothes were. I was late because when I opened up my book earlier and I was reading Percy Jackson, I accidentally spilled the ocean out of my book. I was late because when I went to the wheelchair company, they were out of chairs and they were all really depressed. Late because the lion in the zoo didn't get his dinner and he went on a rampage and started feeding the elephant.
Oh,
I
jeez.
was late because the dragon picked me up from my house and brought me to his sandcastle, but he made a pretty good feast. I was late because I made a new scientific discovery that the ground was hard.
Scientific discovery.
Thank you, guys. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is 3 minutes is a pretty long time. It was a long time to think, wasn't it? And then 3 minutes, that's one of the things they learned. Normally they would have 5, now there would be 7 of them. And this is a good example. In the Odyssey rule book, it says if the judges laugh, it's creative. You guys laughed a lot, thank you.
Good one.
And by rights, rightfully so, because there were some funny things. They don't have to, it used to be Odyssey was around in a circle, as many answers as you can rattle off. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. The Odyssey just this year changed and said, we're gonna change it up, we want more creative. So the kids are learning that they don't have to fill every second up, that if they can stand there and think of a good creative answer, that's 5 points. That's 5 single dumb answers. It used to be, if you went around, you could say the sky is blue, you got 1 point. It didn't matter what the question was, you were stuck, the sky is blue, 1 point. But if you do the creative one, so I think they did a really good job, not knowing anything about what I was going to give them. That's 1/3 of it. I just want them to share with you a little bit about the big thing, the long-term problem. Somebody tell them what long-term problem you picked. Go ahead.
Problem 1,
What was problem 1?
you have
Uh-huh. What does the car have to do?
to have to get past obstacles and go to their destination.
How many destinations?
3,
Okay, Anderson? How many obstacles?
3.
And, Wesley, what, are they all obstacles that Odyssey gives you?
No.
No. How does that break up? The 3 obstacles. Which ones does Odyssey give you and which one is yours?
2 of them have to be made by Archie and one of them can be your own creative, but there has to be at least one that is, or at least 2 that is made by Archie.
Right. Odyssey gives you a list of maybe 4 possible and you have to pick 2 of them and then you guys have to come up with 1. Grace, why don't you tell me which one you picked up? Or you created? Oh, first of all, Parker, tell them what the theme is.
Dr. Seuss, and each destination will be like its own book.
Okay,
Oh, by the way, it's a race.
yes, it's a race. You gotta
By the
go
way.
from one place to another. It's mapped out by Odyssey, 24 by 20 foot, grid. And Grace, what did I ask you?
What was it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, what obstacle did we create,
In
or
the
did
book,
you create?
in the book Fox and Fox, there's this lake of sticky glue. We created that, so we thought of it and that.
It's okay, because we changed it,
Mhm.
is what you're saying. Go ahead, Ari, what one did we create, and
So,
what one did you
That
create?
we kind of took off the modesty and also put together with our own. But the one that we really created was from the book Yertle the turtle staff. So what we have is, we don't 100% know how yet, but someone is going to knock the turtle stack over and they're gonna scatter all over the road, and our car has to clear them without damaging the turtles.
Turtles now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So
You're-
that
you're
we know
knocking-
right now,
Right.
I flip on a banana peel and knock them over. So, it's a whole skit about the race, like, can I say this?
Go ahead, yep, that's what I was gonna ask.
Is the racer, I play Yertle the turtle, Parker plays the cameraman, yes. Mercer plays the flag waver, Ari plays the host, Sam I Am, and Grace plays Foxy the Ducks. Oh, and Abigail, who isn't here, plays Lorax, yes,
Laura.
Lorax.
So they've got 3 or 4 different stories, go ahead, Ari.
One of the requirements in the Odyssey booklet is we have to, for each destination, wait, where is it? Oh, interview each of the inhabitants. So at our first destination, I'm interviewing the Lorax. The second destination, I'm interviewing Yertle the turtle, and at the third one, I'm interviewing Fox and Socks.
Ari's the host, so he kind of guides us through it. Grace, why don't you talk about what you did for the side of the car?
So for the sides of the car, at first we put up boards of cardboard with windows too high for Andy to see out. But then I came up with the idea of making the Cat in the Hat and Sam I Am drawn on the cardboard, paint it, and then cut it out, and then like staple it to the side with some sort of board to support it. And that'll be easier for
We
Andy.
found out that Grace can freehand draw like you can't believe. She just sat down on these big pieces of cardboard and drew the cat in the hat and Sam I Am, and then painted them, and now it's in the process of cutting them out. So they got this big project. These are, go quickly.
So with the help of experts, we came up with the idea, because one of our obstacles for the car, and this is part of it. So one of our obstacles is called on ice. And you have to be able to do a 360. What we had to do is make the car like a 0-turn mower. So with the help of experts, we now have a car that's able to, with the push of one lever backwards, one forwards, it can do a 360.
They have to go forwards and backwards in this car that they created. These are 9 and 10-year-olds. And let me tell you something, their coach would have been no help at all, for any of this stuff. They would come up with it, and then we would say, do you know how to do that? And we would, maybe not. So then we would go find an expert that could talk about how you do this in general, not for your problem, but in general. And then they had to take that general knowledge and apply it to their particular problem. So competition is March 1st, and it's at Berwick, and we're hoping that in the first year, we can go beyond regionals, aren't we? We've got great kids, very committed, and, no matter what, they've won already. The amount of learning that has been, I mean, gear ratio, torque, I can't even list all the stuff, brainstorming, working as a team. They had to pick 1 of 5 problems, and they had to gather together and pick the 5 problems. We wanted people with different skill sets on the team, so when they came back the first day with the problem picking, they picked all 5 problems. Of course, so then they had to narrow it down. Anderson? That's right, radius and diameter, we did all kinds of stuff, we're always learning, Anybody that's on Odyssey is a heck of an employee in the future. And, college and, high school, it is unbelievable the amount of learning. So if you don't have any other questions, thank you for your time. And, hopefully you can watch our progress in regional. They just got these shirts today.
I love
They
it.
didn't think they were going to get the shirts in time, so I gave them pins yesterday that I've been saving. So now they've got both the pins and the, shirt. And what's your goal, guys?
Make it the world.
Yeah. That's right.
In your car.
They're ready to go to World with the
Win the
University of Michigan this year, over Memorial Day weekend. So, we'll see how they do, but for the first year, you couldn't have asked for better kids. I mean, dedicated, this is what education is all about, folks. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, you guys.
Team Fast and Curious. I will add to the list of things that you've learned. Your presentation skills are fantastic. And as always, when you go and compete, go Warriors.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Good luck.
You know,
Oh,
That's right.
even
So
over
noted.
They picked the shirt design and the colors and everything else, so they're Warrior proud.
Yep.
We gotta thank the parents too for the, it's a lot of work. It truly is, it's a lot of commitment, so, we've got great families and great kids. Go ahead, that should be highlighted.
Yes, for, many years, McCall Middle School and then later been the National Geographic beat. National Geographic canceled sponsoring a geography beat, during COVID, but we've continued that tradition and, this last week, we're sort of crowned school champion.
you're like, oh,
Thank you for the excuses. I'll use them.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote them down.
Here's some of the ones they come up.
Thank you, guys.
The cutting, this is recovered. Cutting it. Sounds awesome.
I think we get
That was.
favorite Darth
Yeah,
Vader.
that other kid's dogs, they couldn't find him. He was all right, back on track again. That was wonderful. Thank you. I don't see any student representatives for the evening tonight, so we'll
my thought is.
we'll move on to the reading of the minutes, the approval of the regular meeting minutes, January 14th, 2025, and the work session, January 28th, 2025. Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Any questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. 2.2, approval of transcript from the January 21st, 2025 public hearing on the closing of Loyalsock Valley Elementary.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Very well. Moving on to the public comments portion of the agenda. This is for residents and taxpayers to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation before the board. You have 3 unpaused time minutes, if anyone is interested. All right, seeing no one in the room. Is anyone online open for comment? All right, no hands raised. We will move on.
We have one.
We got, oh, come on up. Yeah, of course.
My name is Carly, and I'm from Monfortville, and I'm a senior at, the high school here. I just wanted to talk about, the phone pouches. I know there's been a lot of negatives that this change has caused and overwhelming for a lot of people. So I'd like to tell you all a few positives. So the first thing that I noticed is that phone pouches have greatly reduced distractions in the classroom. With everyone's phones now tucked away, I've seen firsthand students fully concentrating on lessons, actively participating in discussions, and engaging with the material being taught. I've even found myself more engaged in class, taking notes and asking more questions. I also took it upon myself to speak with multiple teachers to hear the changes that they have seen in the students. Every teacher that I spoke with said that the teachers are more focused, asking more questions, and even said that grades have significantly improved since this change. Secondly, a more inclusive and socially connected school community has been fostered in this change. Without the constant flow of our screens, all students have more opportunities to interact face-to-face with their peers, the ability to build stronger friendships and create a supportive network. I've noticed this change spring alive myself as students have begun interacting socially more, such as playing card games during lunch and study halls, laughing more often, and overall having a better mood. Another positive has been the healthier, balanced, and mindful habits in students' everyday life and their approach to technology. I'll give you 2 examples. The first day I came home from having a phone couch, I was surprised to see my brother sitting at our kitchen table doing his homework. Now, this is my 16-year-old brother, a teenager who is always on his video games playing with his friends. But he didn't just do this for one day, he's continued to do this ever since. Now, not only have better relationships with technology been established, but healthier habits too. For instance, I just spoke with our librarian, Mrs. Kaiser, who told me over 218 books have been checked out this month alone, compared to the average 40 being checked out before the phone outage. Even one of my fellow classmates told me they realized they actually do have time to read, but their phone was telling them otherwise. Now, despite these positives, there have been some pros and cons, but let's face it, everything does. But I'd like to talk about communication between parents and children. This has been a major concern, this topic I've heard all around, such as during emergencies. But I'd like to share a recent article I read regarding a school shooting. A few months ago, I still remember I believe in Appalachian High School had a tragic school shooting. One student was killed and a few were injured. However, news reporters, as they interviewed people, every teacher stated how much more overwhelmed children were with their phones, as parents were frantically being called or messaging their children, how inattentive students were to directions. Some of even wished disregarded the instructions that were given. Now, the parents, the school will protect your child. Teachers are trained how to do this very thing. Your child will have a greater chance of survival if they can be attentive and follow directions. Parents will hear from their children. It may not be in the exact moment they wish, but at least they have a greater chance of their child being safe. And the student who died in the school shooting died because they were on their phone and extremely overwhelmed by a parent and not getting themselves to safety. A child's life is worth more than a cell phone. So if a parent is concerned about not being able to communicate during an event like this, parents should be encouraged to make sure that their child has their phone numbers memorized so that they can call them when given the opportunity. Also, to make a strategy and educate their children on how to get to safety and notify them. I believe as a school, a family, and a community, we can turn this change into a positive. If we implement the positives and give solutions to the negatives, everyone will see the positives, and you might even find your own child doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that information. That was amazing. Came at a good time. All right. Could we just wrap it up after that?
I know, right?
Still have some business to do, sorry.
Motion to adjourn.
Check.
I need that.
All right.
So
well,
thank you.
All right.
Please don't take a vote on it.
So close. Here we go. Business managers report. Strike that.
Back on track here so we can get out of here. You've received copies of the treasurer's reports for the period ending January 31st, 2025 for the general fund and cafeteria fund. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval.
Okay, take motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions?
None.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Very well, moving on.
You received copies of the budgetary transfers for the general fund. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions? None, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed.
You've received copies of the listing of invoices for the general fund and cafeteria fund for the period ending February 11th, 2025. We are submitting these to the board for your consideration of approval and payment.
All right, motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Albert,
Yes.
Mr. Badger,
Yes.
Mr. Eisenhower,
Yes.
Mr. Husband,
Yes.
Ms. McLeod,
Yes.
Mrs. Meyer,
Yes.
Mrs. Oberheim,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
All right. Just what's going on in the business office right now. We're working on Act 80 currently. We're preparing bids for next year's budget. We have prepared givebacks and did our first rollout meeting with the teachers on Monday with that. We've been preparing Transfinder for next year. The W-2s and the 1099s all went out. The next 4 weeks, we'll be doing time clock pilot groups. And we're currently working on the budget and keeping an eye on the state and what the federal government is doing to help prepare with our budget preparation moving forward. And that's all I have this evening.
Very good, thank you. All right, moving on to superintendent's report. We will start over here on this side, Mr. Hannah.
Yesterday, I met with our paraprofessionals and offered a training on confidentiality. Based on FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, as well as HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. The training included talking about the history of both laws and how the laws impact education as well as the health industry. We talked about what information is protected under both acts and who has the right to know information while in school. We also discussed a lot of different scenarios and kind of how staff should respond to the various scenarios. It was very engaging training, and I think that overall they got a lot from it, and I know that they appreciated that. That's like specifically for that. We also have been working with the paraprofessionals because they have a required 20 hours of professional development that they must complete every year. So I'm checking in with them at this point of the year to see how they're doing with those 20 hours. If they've completed them, some of our paraprofessionals already have completed them, and we're also checking to see how many what hours they still need at this point. And then if they still need hours, a lot of them already have a plan how to get those hours, and if they don't, then I meet with them individually and try to come up with a plan for that to ensure that they're going to meet that requirement at the end of the school year. And then also the extended school year programming, we are working with that in the special education department. We started planning for that and trying to determine which one of our students qualify for those services this summer. The students are deemed appropriate for that based on recruitment and regression of their IEP goals. So every student at the end of the school year has some regression. For some of the special education students, the regression might be greater. So those students that have a greater regression and have a lot longer to take to get back to where they were, those are the students that qualify for the fiscal year program. This year, the IU is running two programs. One is at the Williamsport Area Middle School in the Williamsport Area School District, and then the other one is going to be at the South Academy on Reach Road in Williamsport. Both programs are operated by the IU, and they will start Monday, June 23rd, and run through Thursday, July 17th. For about 3 hours per day. So we're working on that, and I'm hoping in February at the IU to receive parent packets. So those students that are eligible, well, then we'll be sending out parent packets.
Very well. Thank you very much. Mr. Putt. All right, Ms. Albert.
Yes, we have the school musical coming up this weekend, Friday night at 7 and 2 o'clock on Saturday. I think they're going to meet the junior. Lots of work by the students and early and the set design by the Planowski. So it's going to be great. I'm super excited. It's an opportunity to come out and watch it. I'm sure they're going to see everybody there. Also, on February 20th, we have a representative from the Attorney General's office coming to the middle school to speak with both sixth and eighth grade about the dangers and concerns of social media and proper use of it and things. And there's also a parent meeting that we're offering information to that evening at 6 o'clock in the fall. And we're going to come out to that and get the latest info on social media and the dangers and things like that.
Good topic. All right, Mr. Napo. All righty, Mr. Bleeds.
Oh, okay, bingo night coming up. That was the night after call on February 21st, Friday. We have, ridiculous Nicholas, who is a Penn State grad, turned magician / entertainer. So he's coming to see the Valley of the Lighter at the end of February to put on a super science show, so we're all stoked about that. Read Across America Week coming up at the beginning of March, and then you all have some Hershey Kids recording this because this week is great amount of time this week, so if you can at all this week, you can look for somebody. That's why I but hope you enjoy the Hershey Kids and remember Friday Valentine's Day.
Maybe so.
I believe it's also the Super Bowl parade for the Super Bowl
Yeah.
champion Philadelphia Eagles, if I remember. I got it in there. Go Birds, anywho.
I know you couldn't get out of here with that.
I had to. Feel so much better now. Right, Mrs. Wines.
Like, full been busy. We're starting scheduling here pretty soon, getting ready for next year. Guidance counselors are gonna meet with students this week, and we can get things rolling on that. Yesterday, Mr. Johnson and I did professional development with the teachers on grading and assessment. That's our focus right now, is looking at what everybody's doing and where we go from here. There's been a lot of work done on musical here at the high school. They're doing the Little Mermaid. That's not until March 14th, 15th, and 16th. They had a chance yesterday to be in the auditorium to see the set design, and it was fantastic. Last night was the last boys basketball home game. They won 47-41, and we know that they do have a playoff game at Mount Carmel. We don't know the date for it yet. Tonight is senior night for girls basketball. And again, you know, we're anticipating that everything wrapped up. Wrestling went to Team States this weekend, had a beautiful victory here in the gymnasium last week, and then went on the States for Saturday. Ended up being the top public school in the state, at that tournament. We finished in the top 6. All the schools that finished above us were all private schools. And we're really looking forward now to individual states that's coming up here very shortly. I want to acknowledge the teachers and our staff who've been pitching in with the sub shortage. There are a lot of days we just don't have enough coverage for all the teachers that are out. So the teachers and paraprofessionals have really been stepping it up here in the building. And they're volunteering to take on other people's classes, volunteering to cover. It just really goes to show just how great faculty and staff are that we have here. And sometimes we want to make sure they understand how much that's appreciated. The district-wide arts festival is coming up March 27th and 28th. That'll be held here in the high school gym. And we have a winter formal scheduled for Saturday with a Sunday weather makeup day. That up, yeah.
All right, we get a lot going on, thank you. Mr. Myers.
Well, today we had, Trooper Beaver, and Trooper Fleshner at, I called today to talk to both, 6th grade and 7th grade about the upcoming camp cadet. Gave a fantastic presentation. I think we have some students that are excited about doing this. So shout out to them. Thank you, PSP, for their continued support. About tomorrow, the science fair for 7th and 8th grade. I think we 120 students, you know, going to participate in that. So really excited about that and the opportunity for kids to do hands-on projects. As you can see, you know, how excited you are with continued progress with that. Math counts team Saturday, got a call from Mrs. Comper, our gifted teacher. They took first place in the regional event out of 36 students, and out of 6 teams. So shout out to Hannah Worson, Bryn Farley, Noah Chow, and Elliot Nybert. They're going on to states. So,
Wow.
So again, kudos to our math department. And we have lots of work to do in our department, but kids are continuing to thrive. So shout out to them. And then this past week, the next shout out is to our counselors, it's National Counselors Week. And I found this quote here, it was pretty interesting, especially at the middle school level. Counselors are compassionate, they show empathy, and then this really caught my attention here, ability to identify students, help students and staff navigate challenges.
Oh.
So, this time of year, and this is Albert and I, we're navigating challenges. And when you're in the trenches every day, really thank the counselors for all they do, keep positive. So shout out to them. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you. Mr. Brown.
I do like when you switch, because like they all stole everything.
I'll try to remember where I started.
I mean, I don't have much to share. You met Mercer.
You'll find something.
You get short, Danny. I'm trying.
Find something.
Turns out you are one to speak. They met Mercer, and made it, his teammates were competitive. It was a long final round with 7 kids on the stage, and like, I'm getting a little nervous. I'm thinking, how am I going to net? But some of the questions were really, really, really hard. And having a minor in social studies, I'm like, oh, I would have struggled. So, real smart kids working hard, and you see that some things they're doing on the creative side. But yeah, a lot of things going on. Yesterday was our professional development day. Teachers did a lot of teaming, some more iReady work, collaborating with some of our newer teachers and mentoring them. And just making sure we're providing, quality education for our kids, prepare them for middle school, high school and beyond. Thanks to Sebastian and his team, we had, our part of our safety, our Raptor training. Again, sorry, Dan, I'm probably stealing that for you.
That's everything.
He was checking them off.
But again, it's good about maintaining that safety, just like, Ms. McKenna said, that's our biggest thing, and one of our primary focus, of course, besides, preparing them for life beyond. So things are good, cold, weather stinks, but hey, we're doing well latest spring. Thank you.
Thank you. You got anything at all?
They said it all. Raptor is just, we are getting that fully implemented. That was a pivot from Navigate 360. They broke their product. Raptor's replacing that. Parents did get notified on that. This is just that continued layered approach of safety and security in the district. You're going to vote on something tonight, hopefully. Zero Eyes, which adds another layer. It uses our cameras for weapon detection. Also motion of pulling a weapon possibly out of a jacket or pocket. So it is a manned center. There may be women too, but it's a manned center. They watch the cameras. They're notified by AI of something taking place in the school. They check it out and then notify the schools. It's different than any other product that's out there right now. We got it as a grant. We got the last grant in the state on this, so I'm pleased that we're able to test that. I believe it's in all buildings, correct? We managed to spread the licenses out so that's in all of our buildings. And that's key to be able to prioritize all of them, not just a couple over some others. So excited about that. And they covered everything that we did in service. There was a lot going on in service yesterday, in addition to faculty meetings, partner meetings. I shouldn't say it, because the next one won't be, but very positive meeting here. Tonight, it's just, we're in a good place and a good direction right now. So thank you for your continued leadership as a board, and thanks to the admin team for their continued leadership in the district. We're in a good spot. So let's keep it moving in that direction. Much appreciated. Thank you.
I agree. Thank you. All right, moving on to general agenda items. For those of you following along at home, 7.9 has been canceled. We'll not be voting on that. That event is canceled, so that is coming off of the agenda for this evening. So if everyone is okay with that, I would like to combine 7.1 through 7.8. Vote on them all at once. Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions? On those?
No questions. Sorry, I'm
All right, all,
just asking you a question.
okay. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Well. Personnel section, again, I'd like to combine 8.1 through 8.3. Take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Any questions?
it's not really a question, it would just be basically a statement on 8.3 that, we would advertise for that as soon as possible. So we could get the girls, some off-season work and some leadership, as soon as possible.
Yep. It'll go to February 14th.
Thank you.
I think we have some names out there that are interested too, so. At least one that I know.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, give me your reports, Mr. Young.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
PSBA, Mrs. Oberheim.
Nothing tonight?
Policy Committee, Ms. McCoy.
Nothing tonight.
Mrs. Meyer.
No, I was just gonna say, Randy handed out the general operations budget, so that vote will be coming up. Trying to think of anything else right now. Besides a lot of budget and staff and stuff like that, so nothing beside that, thank you.
I didn't hole punch that because that's not our budget, but you can tuck it in one of the front or the back of your binders, so you can refer to it if you need to.
Thank you. LCTC, Mr. Eisenhower.
Yeah, real quick, about almost 2 weeks ago, Pentech hosted the annual Skills USA district competitions. LCTC, I think, sent 45 kids. Out of those 45 kids, 21 were placed in the first, second, third place. And out of those kids, one was from Toursville, and that would be Colin Cashman, if we can do a recognition for him, and he won first place for cake decorating. So he'll be moving on to states at Hershey.
Thank you. Memorial Gardens, Mr. Hausnick.
Nothing at this time.
Budget, Mrs. Meyer, or Mr. Hausnick. On Toursville Foundation, I don't have anything. Dan, was there anything from the meeting?
Yeah, on Friday, April 4th, they will be having a Pints for Pencils event at New Trail. They'll have rip tickets, silent auction, 50-50. It is from 5 to 8 at New Trail Brewing. I have to be careful. Gianna Waldman and Izzy Butters will be the entertainment from Uptown. And kids here, and that's where I have to be careful. The Cluckin' Chicken Food Truck will be the food truck at New Trail.
What was that again?
Please now.
One more time for the people in the back.
Mr. Kurt's not just going to be proud that you got through it.
What else can they buy besides pencils?
Well, they can buy the pints and their proceeds will
Buy more than
This will be a
10,
fundraiser that'll then buy us pencils, so,
et cetera, hopefully.
yeah, so come on out, enjoy the entertainment, and gambling and the beer that will be at the event.
They're singing.
And that's the foundation. The school district is not doing that. event.
But you can support the
That's the
foundation.
That
You
was
can
your
certainly
idea,
support the
Dan.
foundation.
Thank you, Dan. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Albert. Extracurricular, Mr. Badger or Mr. Hausnet.
Nothing from me.
Nothing on safety and security.
Wait, wait.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Hausnet. Hold on. He's gonna cross off all. I totally forgot about your list. I'm sorry.
8:30.
Shorter tonight, though.
Okay, yeah, it is short.
Tina's got things got.
Uh, The varsity boys finished 11-11. They'll take seventh place in the seeding. And they will play at Mount Carmel next week. The JV boys finished with, Coach Eric Wise's best record ever at 16-2. The ninth grade boys are 9-4. They took second in the Bloomsburg tournament. And even by taking second, Isaac Ehrlichson was named MVP of the tournament. And they're in the Williamsport tournament in 2 weeks. The eighth grade boys are 12-3. They took third in the Southern Columbia tournament. They're at Williamsport next week for the tournament. The seventh grade boys are 11-3 right now, and they won the Southern Columbia tournament. The varsity girls, like she said, are playing Newman right now. They play Mifflinburg tomorrow night. They're 4-16. The JV girls are 4-13. Both teams very young. The junior high wrestlers had a record of 14-7, but they were 4-1 in the PZAC dual tournament, 3-2 in the Jersey Shore tournament, 6th in the Line Mountain tournament, and Logan Reed, Blake Fry, Hunter Harvey all took first in that tournament. William Butler took second. In the Wolfpack tournament, they finished 5th out of 35 teams. And once again, Logan Reed and Blake Fry took first, William Butler took second. The varsity wrestlers you've heard all about, they finished with a 24-3 record. They won the Clearfield duels. They won the first ever District 4 team championship for Montoursville. And they won 2 of their 4 matches at the state tournament. Like everyone knows, we are state champions of the public school. But that's for another conversation. The cheerleaders, they took at nationals, they took 5th overall and they finished 5th in their traditional routine. And they also won the Go Be Great Award, which is for good people who go above and beyond. And then the following weekend, they went to the state championships and they took 5th in the state championships. And last but not least, Evelyn Wang and Carson Bohemus both advanced to the district to participate in the PMEA regional band at Williamsport in March. Carson had the first chair for flute and also the solo chair for the piccolo. So,
And I just want to add, a change that you're going to see, at the board level to provide a little more transparency and understanding for you as the board and parents and the public. Coaches in the past have just been approved in the wage book on an annual basis. They're kind of buried in there. It's nice because it just kind of passes its way through. That is going to change, and at the end of each season, we will approve the coaches for the following season. That provides clarity to everybody moving forward, that coach is either continuing or not at the conclusion of the season. And that's one of the big topics I'm sure you get asked about out there in the public, other than phone pouches maybe. But I just think that'll provide some clarity and transparency to our process with our coaches. So that change will be coming. We're working out some new evaluation tools for coaches that we're going to roll out here after the conclusion of the winter season. So you will see those names coming at a future meeting soon. So I guess that'd be a good change for everybody involved.
Just to
Question.
follow up on what Dan's saying, I think we also need to kind of look at, the grades, fourth through seventh, that early stage, and the coaches that coach whatever they're coaching, whether it be girls basketball or boys basketball. I think it's important that at that level, that they're getting the best coaching that they can get, and that it's not just parents doing it.
Well, the elementary, they're not ours. We go from 7 to 12, so anything below 7, we don't really have much say in other than whether they use our facilities or not.
Right, but still, I think that, I think it's really critical
If that's where,
at that level, because that's where they're getting taught.
that's where you need the head coach of the varsity program to have more input into that. When you look at wrestling,
We need to look at that
Yes.
and make sure that that's being done.
Cause even at club level, it's still parents. Like even when you go into we both have kids at FC and that's parents still coaching. It's not, a lot of them have soccer experience, but it's still.
we don't have a whole
Right,
lot of.
but I
Yeah.
can see the struggles in different areas.
Oh, yeah.
With that, and I think moving forward, we need to emphasize on the coaches to make sure that the coaches themselves at the higher level are involved with these kids at that, because that's their future. And, you have your ups and downs, but I look at the wrestling program, when they made the changes that they made, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, or however long it was. And they're fully involved with what's going on with these kids. And it shows that
I was just gonna
it's
say.
improving.
So,
And I like what, Danny was saying there, but also head coaches, they work all week. And then they're head coaching, the high schoolers in the middle, overseeing the middle schoolers. It's really hard for them to then extend themselves to have a big hand in the elementary as well. Not that they can't, it's hard to find people that will extend themselves that far.
And we're fortunate to have that in the wrestling program.
Yeah, I've seen
Very
it.
fortunate.
Yeah, and I can attest, when I leave, there's a coach in that building.
Yes. It takes a full commitment, and if you want to succeed, it has to be done at a younger age.
my other question was, we don't sign like multi-year contracts with coaches,
They're
right? It's
annual.
annual, right? Okay, that's what so I'm glad we're doing that for transparency, because that was a question that I've had multiple times.
I'm certain.
And
And not just you.
Various sports.
Yep. It really ramps up in the winter, that's.
I don't know. There's some,
Anyway,
I think it's spread.
Anybody else on that? Wellness, Ms. McCoy?
Nothing.
Back to you, sir.
I finished all my Hershey's Kisses, so we're good to go. All right,
It's time to go.
all right, this is the final public comment portion of the evening. Well, seeing none in-house, we'll go online. All right, seeing none there, we'll move on to adjournment. Take a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Say aye.
Bye.
Opposed? Right, see you next time.
thank you, everyone.